The Raven Heights Radio Podcast. Get weird with us.
It can be as simple as like, oh, people are burying ashes in trees. Huh. You know, and it unlocks a part of your brain that stores that. And then from there, you kind of go, is this a story? Is there something here? Is there the human element? And is it going to be fun? Can I do that, the manipulation thing with it? And these are all Seance Room specific, right? Like that's not the roadmap to all of the work that I do. Certainly not with,
no.
Yeah, certainly not with like the Mad Cave stuff that's coming out soon. That's a much different beast. So that's the inspiration for the Seance Room stuff. It really was like a love letter to form first. And because once you have that, not only is it marketable and sellable, but then it's a completely limitless repository for whatever is irking you at that moment or some disgusting thing you find interesting, right? Like the entire concept, just for people who don't know, and then I'd actually love to hear what you guys, your perception after having read it, and then sort of the hot air that I've been spewing for the past 5 minutes. The concept is that there is this gentleman who owns a mansion. Within that mansion, there are 6 ghosts. Now, they are trapped within this device in the Seance Room, which each person who enters the Seance Room who is not already affiliated with the mansion brings to life a ghost that sort of is there for a reason to fuck with them, right? Like that's the idea. And each ghost has sort of a different category. And what that does is that opens it up for literally anything. Like it can be and do anything. The Seance Room itself is a sort of like the holodeck. You know, the ghosts are all over the place. Like it's just the perfect playground for that kind of stuff.
I mean, I would even say, like, similar to your postcards, each issue is, stands alone. And each person that enters the room has their own unique experience.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. That's very important. You'll as things go on, we are working on creating the overarching feel that this is a thing that exists where what happens there affects there, right? Like kind of like think about Magic School Bus. I'm sure you were not expecting that.
No.
I mean, obviously you compare Magic School Bus to the Seance Room. No, whereas like you go on these crazy adventures and that sort of builds these characters up, but like the next episode when they come in, it's going to be a whole brand new adventure based on whatever shit Frizzle's throwing at them this week. And that's important. I mean, you don't want it to feel like separate universes, but at the same time, I do want it to be an experience where I was a huge proponent of not numbering them, but apparently you just can't do that. People are real sticklers about the numbers. It's actually a selling issue. Like stores and people have a very hard time getting their head around something that isn't numbered.
And you have to say, like, I have a number 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are people definitely who it's crucial that they have the number 1. You'll notice on each issue there's actually sort of a subtitle. So like Seance Room number 1 is called The Seed of Destruction. The Seed of Change. And then issue 2 is called La Viuda, which is Spanish for the widow.
Well, and I was going to say, I had a comment about the second issue because it's my favorite, but I didn't want to give any spoilers.
I mean, how spoiler is it? I mean,
what I'm saying, like what eventually happens to the guy, like that just seems so terrifying. And considering like when we were talking, my biggest fear is death. So imagining that happening to someone I care about is like, holy fuck.
A huge part of certainly of that issue, is trapped, right? Like I started to notice something about myself as I get older is that the only times that I cry anymore are when I'm optionless. That's when I actually really lose my shit because I'm the type of person who throw a problem at me, and I'll figure it out. I'll take my time. I'll figure it out. Like there's options. There's always options. There's always 7 or 8 ways to do something within the first second of you think about it, right? So losing options is devastating and painful and dehumanizing, right? Like it's the thing that makes us these kind of like enigmatic things of the universe, is this idea that humans are just such great problem solvers, and it's wonderful. And when you take that away from someone, it's devastating. So that as much, and that's why I say like it's never about just like a sort of a gotcha moment. I mean, each issue it should feel like it's sort of like raising its hand against the water of whatever that fear is. You know, if I could be so crass as to ask you guys, what did you think of your thoughts of both Seance Rooms?
Well, I was going to say you have amazing timing because Andy actually had to step out briefly, but I absolutely loved them, and so did Andy. Between the artwork and the writing, I feel like you guys were meant to work together on it.
Kayla, I hope you're listening. Stay for 4 more issues, Kayla.
And to be honest with you, I feel hooked, and I just want to read. Now that I know how many stories you've written, I need every one of those in my life.
I'm tempted. I'll just send you the scripts.
Sweet.
It's not the same though without
yeah,
Kayla's
I mean,
art.
and don't get me wrong, I love DC and I love
too.
Marvel, but it's really nice to find like darker stories in the comic market.
And you know, I tell people that all the. I make sure people know that. Did I show you my Batman tattoo?
No.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm as much of a DC and Marvel guy as anyone else. You know what I mean? I'm also an extreme advocate for indie comics because I've read some unbelievable stuff. Right now that just came out this week, Ghost and the Owl by Sarah Richards and Franco, like is just genius, and it's beautiful, and that you'll never see that, or if you do, you'll see it for like 3 issues of some obscure superhero that they're trying to relaunch or something, you know. So it's all well, it's like Andy, it's like movies, right? Like you can't. There's a place for Jurassic Park and there's a place for Metropolis. There's no reason that both can't exist.
Well, and that goes with anything. You could say the same for music genres,
right? Like
there's a place in the world for Joy Division, but there's also a place in the world for Slayer.
Right. Wait, which one is the more popular one of those two? I would say Slayer.
Oh gosh, wait, that's a really bad comparison.
Well, I was going to say, well, it's like saying like there's room in the world for Elliott Smith and there's room in the world for Coldplay, right? Like you can have
where one's on a completely massive scale and the other is a bit more like obscure.
And the reception for both is different. Like you don't listen to Elliott Smith the same way you listen to Coldplay. They're tickling 2 completely different parts.
Well, actually, you're wrong. I cry when I listen
to them. Do you really?
To
do you just? Oh no!
No, I'm kidding. Coldplay for sure. Like that's not a lie. Right. Okay, now Andy's back.
Hello. Just get you.
Your thoughts on the book? Because we were asking.
Oh no, I don't care about Andy's opinion. It's yours. Yeah, sorry. No, I didn't.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you know what really matters here.
No, please, Andy, please. No,
Thank
please.
You
I'm
so much.
completely kidding. I would love to hear it.
Oh, no, I know. Actually, I found that kind of refreshing because I was like, I give my opinion all the time.
Someone finally told me to shut up about it, huh?
Well, I keep saying you can do that. I'm an asshole. So please. Well, it's true.
Babe, after 4 years, it's easier just to let you go like a tape.
So funny. You guys
you like that
for a while. My fiance, who actually just entered the room, I say, "Hi, Rachel." Hello. I'll be her. You're there.
Hi.
She knows
Hello,
well enough
Rachel.
when just to let me talk something out, you know. And actually, she's showing me. John just texted me.
No, Brink.
Yeah, I know, John Brink.
What's up with him?
I know, it's weird. I actually before I wasn't gonna say anything, but before the podcast started, I actually just got some texts from a friend of mine who has some severe alcohol troubles, and I haven't heard from him in a long time, so I don't even know what he said. So we'll find that out later. Unless do you want to find out on the podcast?
Ooh. Ooh.
I mean, we got 8 minutes left.
Rachel's.
That's on you. It's
Rachel's
your
reading
show.
it and making like a face right now. I'm so curious. Actually, and I'll tell you. Wait, Rachel, can I see it? Let me see.
Yeah.
Now we're all curious.
Okay.
All right.
And now we're on an episode of Maury.
No, this is actually watchable, and there's a problem being addressed.
I love this guy a lot. He was a very, very close friend of mine for a long time. It's just a couple apologies, but the problem is, and this is really honest, is like with people who have a drinking problem, you never know
He's drunk.
if the apologies are part of a booze-addled self-loathing fest.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a hard road to hoe. Do you guys have anyone in your life who is like a legitimate, true alcoholic?
I've been there, yeah.
It's so.
Like, and it was a family thing, so it was particularly difficult. Yeah.
But
Not to end the podcast on a downer,
actually,
but yeah.
Well, is that this is not a joke. The next issue, I think, is an issue I wrote about him.
Oh, wow. How interesting he's contacting you now, then.
He wants his half. No, I don't know. I do. If this is the issue we go with, it's the one that I have been kind of pushing on Kayla to do. But if it is the issue, it is an issue told completely in reverse, which works from if you read it from this page 1 to page 22, it reads like a mystery. And if you read it from page 22 to page 1, it reads completely as a sort of like a horror kind of suspense. Almost like a biography suspense. So it reads it scans both ways. Like there's no grammatical oddities about it. It works 100% both ways.
Yeah, that's an intriguing idea. It's not something that you would imagine lending itself very easily to comic. Like you can see it kind of work within a film, but having that work as a comic,
it still might not, Andy. we could make it, and it might suck. We don't. Jury's out, dude.
Look, Ben, I realize you grew up fat, but it's important that you have some confidence here.
No, I mean this is. I appreciate. No, this is a objective criticism. Like it's not done. It could suck.
See, and listen, like this has all been a lie. This is really the Dr. Andy show.
Of course.
I am Dr. Andrew Rosen.
Oh, okay.
You're Frasier now?
So I was 8 years old and skinned my knee. Call back, motherfuckers. I hope you're listening. All 12 episodes.
Comedians work their whole career trying to come up with good callback lines.
That's actually my catchphrase. At every convention, at one point I go, "Hey y'all, skinned my knee when I was 12," and I just get a huge applause from everyone.
So, to wrap this up, could you tell everybody what you have coming up next, whether it's like con appearances or where everyone can find your work?
Thank you. And also just thank you for having me on. I know that it's like the obligatory thing to say, but I legitimately mean that. This has been great, and I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome back anytime. It's
great.
fun.
Okay, done deal. Let's keep going.
Dude, we get so tired of talking to one another. We need other people.
It's the buffer.
Please,
I'm essentially you guys having a kid in your relationship to keep things spicy. You know, I'm that. You brought me in to make things better again. Being like, oh, you again. All right, so you can find the kind of cool is the website for Seance Room, seanceroomcomic.com, is a completely immersive experience. It is done as if the Weiss Manor is a real place, and it is done like the hotel website. You can also go see on that website Kayla and I and a couple of other of our friends, including my wonderful fiance Rachel, all went to a real seance in Salem, Massachusetts, filmed it, edited it, put it up.
Oh,
it is on the
wow.
website. Very, very, very entertaining. And you can get all of our comics on Comixology. The best thing you guys can do, everyone, is go to the SourcePoint Press website. It's just sourcepointpress.com. Look at the titles. Look at all the insanely cool stuff that we're doing. over there and ask. We are in Diamond, which means that if you ask your retailer, your local retailer, to carry SourcePoint stuff, you don't even understand what a huge difference that makes. You guys would be legit superheroes. I'd get a tattoo of you if you did that, not just Batman.
I mean, I'm about to start reaching out to all the Southern Maryland comic shops this week, so get ready.
Even if you just did one, like that, it's the classic, like, guy walks up to the dude on the beach throwing starfish back in. There's thousands of starfish. He's like, why are you doing that? It doesn't make a difference. He's like, well, it did to that one, right? Like that, it's that scenario. Like, we are the starfish on the beach, and there's a lot of other people trying to make this happen. So it makes a difference. And then kind of fun is that I started writing for Mad Cave Studios. They're this company out of Miami. They do this cool book, Battle Cats, and I am doing a brand new story for them. And that's a 5-issue series. I can't say anything about that. All I'll say is that it takes a pretty classic not stereotype, but like a character, and really explores a sort of different side of a world that we have all seen many, many, many times before. Yeah. So
awesome.
Thank you guys so much. I can't wait. I will, obviously everyone who's SourcePoint I'll put the show out there. We'll try to get it out and make sure all your Raven heads, what do you call them? Yeah.
I don't even know what we call them. What do we call them?
Raven heads.
Ravenhead sounds cute.
Yeah. Well, you just coined that.
Yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it. This one's on the house, guys. Yeah, and all your Raven heads, we'll make sure that you guys you get some love too.
Sweet. Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, as far as how listeners, you guys know the deal. You can contact us, me through Raven Heights on Twitter, and Andy.
You're better off hitting me up at Mastercast TV on YouTube. If you're at all involved, I tend to check my comments and personal messages all the time.
And I know. Dude.
I answer
also, that reminds me, Instagram. I love Instagram. Find me. Message me at MrBenAU, Mr. Ben AU. And there's lots of pictures of my dog. I have a Shiba Inu, and I love her, and guitar things and comic things.
Awesome. Well, on that note, good night.
Thank you very much.